February the 20th, 2022. Guys, you're looking at current images of our sun starting yesterday up until now. And we've got the return of a sunspot that we've been talking about for 2 weeks. That's about how long it takes one to come around from the backside of the sun. But as it was going behind the sun from the opposite side to the right, it threw out the CMEs that knocked down 40 of Elon Musk's satellites, and we saw them fall back to Earth with the cameras over Puerto Rico. Then the same sunspot, as it was on the backside, threw out the largest coronal mass ejection of this solar cycle, and we did a video on that. It's called the Fire of God. But now it's returning, and it's starting to get active, and the scientists are paying very close attention to this one. We're going to go through that. But you got your sunspots, a couple of areas here on the surface. This is Earth-facing images from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. But right in this corner is what they're paying attention to. That was a massive CME, and again, the one before that took down those satellites. This morning, there was another eruption. I'm going to show you that one on the LASCO C2 cameras here. Now, this gives us about 4 days from the 16th up to the 20th. You notice it's the 18th, 19th, now going into early this morning, universal time. Bottom explosion, then that one at the top. That's the sunspot that did the CME, again, from the fire. We said the Fire of God, and the one that took down the satellites. Check this out. And we'll watch it come back, cycle back around, and I'll stop this just to kind of give you the idea of the intensity. But this one was strong, but nothing compared to the one a few days ago. Check this out. I'll let it move forward. It erupted at 4:34 a.m. this morning UTC time, and what they're saying is flares on the horizon. The northeastern limb of the sun is surging with flares, a sign that old sunspot AR-2936 is about to return. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the C5 class explosion during the early hours this morning. The flare was stronger than it appeared. It was partially eclipsed by the edge of the sun. Unobstructed, the explosion was probably an M class. You've got your C, your M, then you get into the X series. The underlying sunspot will soon emerge into view, and we're seeing that now, potentially exposing Earth to a source of strong flares. Now, Stereo A is a different satellite, and it's behind Earth in Earth's orbit, so it gives us that left side view of the sun. It says it does not have a white light telescope, but we cannot be for sure that that hot spot is actually a sunspot, but it almost certainly is, guys. It's a very large area. Whatever it is big enough to affect the way the surface of the sun vibrates. Researchers at Stanford are using helioseismology to measure it, and here's what it looks like. In the center of this image is the gray section. That's the Earth side. To the left is the left side of the sun. To the right's the right side. This helioseismology is detecting a very large black area. Notice the white area right there, huge far side active region. We're going to have to pay attention to this one. It says the timing and the location of this active region suggests that it is old sunspot 2936 again, the one that brought down multiple Starlink satellites in early February. It has grown during its transit around the far side of the sun and could pose an even greater threat when it returns in a few days. Again, just look at the size of that active area. But also, guys, last night, the prominence that was on top of the left side of the sun coming from this sunspot, that active region area erupted into a massive filament release. Check that out. Not Earth-facing, going back to the left again. This came from a GOES-16 satellite. Those orbit the Earth, so it's pretty much an Earth-facing view. Now, if you look at our channel, Real BP Earthwatch, go back to the Fire of God. This is talking about that sunspot that's about to approach us. Also, below that, where it says multiple incoming debris trails, is where the Starlink satellites fell back over Puerto Rico after that CME as this sunspot rotated off the east limb behind the sun. Now, that thing's coming, and they're saying it's growing. So we're going to have to pay very close attention to it. Guys, also in the video yesterday about the pups, I mentioned a link, and I'm going to put that link below this video. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.